Some of these conspiracies are wild, unsettling, and highly speculative. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. This entry is in reference to a controversial NASA photograph taken during a 2006 Space Shuttle Atlantis mission showing an unexplained metallic object moving parallel to the spacecraft's trajectory. Analysis of the image sequence shows the object maintaining a constant velocity and controlled trajectory impossible for space debris or ice particles. NASA engineers confirmed the object's estimated size at 100 feet in diameter and its distance at approximately 1.5 miles from the shuttle based on optical calculations. Spectroscopic analysis of the object's surface reflection patterns indicated it was composed of manufactured materials rather than natural substances found in space. Multiple camera angles captured the object executing a deliberate course change before accelerating beyond the shuttle's field of view. Radar data from ground stations tracking the shuttle mission recorded an anomalous signal matching the object's trajectory and velocity. Independent analysis of the photo's metadata confirmed no evidence of manipulation, with the image meeting all NASA documentation protocols. Akephalos refers to an alleged Vatican investigation from 1924 of a rare genetic mutation causing children to be born without visible heads, their faces and brain structures embedded within their torsos. Medical records from 3 separate European hospitals documented cases of infants surviving several days with fully functioning organs despite lacking conventional skull and neck formation. Anatomical studies revealed these children possessed simplified but complete brain structures protected within reinforced ribcage formations, suggesting an organized developmental adaptation rather than a random deformity. Genetic analysis of preserved tissue samples showed consistent across multiple cases, indicating a specific inheritable trait rather than environmental causes. Church documents detail theological debates about whether these children possessed souls, given their radical deviation from normal human form while maintaining consciousness and responsiveness. Research papers from the time period describe the children displaying normal infant behaviors and responses despite their unusual anatomy, with some surviving up to 2 weeks after birth. Recently declassified hospital records indicate at least 7 documented cases across southern Europe between 1921 and 1926, all sharing identical anatomical characteristics. Mental illness represents a divergent form of human consciousness that may actually be advantageous for our species' cognitive evolution. Medical researchers have observed that many mental health conditions correlate with enhanced creativity, pattern recognition, and problem-solving abilities. Studies show individuals with bipolar disorder often display superior verbal ability and mathematical skills during manic phases, while those with schizophrenia frequently demonstrate heightened sensory perception and unconventional thought processes that can lead to breakthrough insights. The genetic persistence of conditions like depression, anxiety, and ADHD across human populations suggests these traits may serve an evolutionary purpose, as natural selection typically eliminates purely harmful mutations. Archaeological evidence indicates that ancient shamans and religious leaders, often described as displaying behavior consistent with modern psychiatric diagnoses, held positions of significant social influence and helped their communities survive through innovative thinking. Neurodiversity advocates point to historical figures like Vincent van Gogh, Nikola Tesla, and Virginia Woolf, whose mental health challenges appeared inextricably linked to their revolutionary contributions to art, science, and literature. Research in evolutionary psychology suggests that variations in neural processing could help humans adapt to increasingly complex social and technological environments, with different cognitive styles providing adaptive advantages in specialized roles. Modern workplace studies reveal that teams including neurodivergent individuals often outperform neurotypical groups in creative problem-solving and innovation metrics, indicating potential evolutionary benefits at a group level. The theory that semen originates as spinal fluid stems from ancient Chinese medical texts, which describe a direct channel between the brain, spine, and reproductive organs through meridian pathways. Traditional Taoist texts detail how vital essence flows down the spine to be transformed into reproductive material, supported by the anatomical observation that the spine and testicles are connected through the nervous system. Medieval alchemists documented similar beliefs, noting the pearl-like appearance and consistency shared between cerebrospinal fluid and seminal fluid. Modern researchers have identified that both fluids contain similar proteins and compounds, including nerve growth factor and other neurochemicals. Microscopic analysis shows both fluids contain high concentrations of alkaline chemicals and glucose, with remarkably similar pH levels and mineral content. The practice of semen retention in various spiritual traditions is based on this belief, claiming that preserving this fluid allows it to travel back up the spine to nourish the brain and enhance cognitive function. Ancient Indian yogic texts describe a process called urdhva rethas, where practitioners allegedly transform reproductive energy back into spiritual energy through the spine, suggesting a bidirectional flow between these systems. The mythical cities of Quivira and Cibola were believed to be kingdoms of vast wealth and gold, described in Native American oral traditions and Spanish expedition records from the 16th century. Spanish explorers documented detailed accounts from native guides about these golden cities, reportedly located in what is now Kansas and New Mexico, with buildings made of gold and streets lined with precious gems. Francisco Vázquez de Coronado's expedition in 1541 found evidence of large, sophisticated settlements in these regions, with complex agricultural systems and organized societies. Archaeological discoveries have revealed extensive trading networks and advanced civilizations in these areas, including the remains of large pueblos and cities that could have inspired the legends. Native American sources described these locations as having unique architectural features, including multi-story buildings and advanced irrigation systems, which were later confirmed by archaeological excavations. Historical records show that both regions contained significant deposits of minerals and precious metals, suggesting the golden appearance of buildings might have been due to mica-rich adobe walls gleaming in the sunlight. Several artifacts recovered from these areas indicate advanced metallurgy and craftsmanship, supporting claims of sophisticated civilizations with valuable resources.
Like this video and subscribe to Maker.
In 1856, a group of French railway workers reported discovering a living pterodactyl trapped within a boulder they had split open during construction near the town of Saint-Dot-d'Izier. The workers described a large bat-like creature with leathery wings and sharp teeth that emerged alive but severely weakened before dying shortly after exposure to the air. Physical evidence included a complete set of wing impressions left in the rock, along with detailed measurements of the creature recorded by site supervisors. Geological analysis of the boulder dated it to the Jurassic period, suggesting the possibility of a creature surviving in a state of suspended animation within an air pocket. Similar cases of living organisms emerging from sealed rocks have been documented, including bacteria and insects found alive within million-year-old amber and salt crystals. The French Academy of Sciences recorded the incident in their official documents, including sketches of the wing impressions and anatomical details that closely matched later paleontological discoveries of pterodactyl species. Local museum records from the period contain preserved samples of unusual membrane-like material recovered from the site, though these specimens have since been lost. Ancient folklore describes smoke rings as portals or messages from spiritual entities, a belief supported by their peculiar physical properties and appearance in multiple cultures' religious texts. Native American tribes documented smoke rings as communication channels between our world and the spirit realm, noting their tendency to maintain perfect circular shapes even in turbulent air. Physics research has shown that smoke rings, or toroidal vortices, exhibit unusual quantum properties, maintaining their form and momentum in ways that defy standard fluid dynamics. Historical records from shamanic practices across continents describe specific techniques for creating smoke rings to facilitate contact with other dimensions, often correlating with modern accounts of paranormal activity. Multiple observers have reported seeing smoke rings appear in locations without apparent sources, particularly around sites of historical or spiritual significance. Scientific analysis has revealed that smoke rings can carry electromagnetic charges and maintain their structure over distances that exceed normal physical expectations for vapor formations. Military documents from the Cold War era note unexplained smoke ring formations appearing before and after unexplained aerial phenomena, suggesting a possible connection to interdimensional travel. Jason Simpson, O.J. Simpson's son from his first marriage, emerged as an alternative suspect in the murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman due to several uncovered pieces of evidence. Jason had a history of violent outbursts and was diagnosed with intermittent rage disorder, attending therapy and taking medication for his condition during the time of the murders. Employment records show Jason worked as a chef and owned several knives similar to the murder weapon, with his workplace located near the crime scene. Multiple witnesses reported seeing Jason in the vicinity of Nicole's house on the night of the murders, though these accounts were never formally investigated by police. Jason's alibi for the night of the murders contained several inconsistencies, and his time card from work appeared to have been tampered with according to private investigators. Photographic evidence shows Jason wearing a knit cap similar to one found at the crime scene, and he owned shoes in the same rare size 12 Bruno Magli style as bloody prints found at the location. O.J. Simpson hired top defense attorneys before he was even considered a suspect, suggesting possible preemptive legal protection for someone else, and his behavior during the infamous Bronco chase aligned with protecting someone rather than fleeing from personal guilt. The Texas Stillwalkers refer to reported sightings of abnormally tall, emaciated humanoid figures seen walking across remote Texas highways and desert areas since the 19th century. Multiple police reports describe encounters with these entities, which appear to be between 8 and 12 feet tall with extremely thin limbs and pale, stretched skin. Forensic analysis of unusual footprints found in these areas shows impressions consistent with bipedal movement, but with a stride length far exceeding human capability. Geological surveys reveal extensive cave systems beneath many sighting locations, suggesting possible underground habitation points for undiscovered species. Native American petroglyphs in the region depict similar tall, thin figures, often associated with subterranean dwelling places and nocturnal activity. Infrared camera footage from highway patrol vehicles has captured thermal signatures of unusually tall, moving figures that disappear from conventional visible light cameras. Local ranch owners have documented livestock disappearances coinciding with Stillwalker sightings, along with findings of partially consumed animal remains showing distinct bite patterns from elongated jaws. Stick Indians refers to mysterious forest beings in Pacific Northwest Native American lore who use advanced whistling abilities and paralytic powers to disorient and capture humans. Multiple tribal accounts describe encounters with these entities, noting their ability to mimic human and animal sounds with perfect accuracy to lure people away from camps. Forest Service records contain reports of experienced hikers becoming inexplicably disoriented in areas associated with Stick Indian activity, often accompanied by unusual whistling sounds. Archaeological evidence shows specialized wooden structures in remote forest areas that match traditional descriptions of Stick Indian territorial markers. Several documented cases exist of hunters and campers experiencing temporary paralysis in these regions, accompanied by distinct whistling patterns and unexplained movement in the surrounding forest. Geological surveys reveal complex cave networks in areas of frequent Stick Indian sightings, suggesting possible habitation sites hidden from human detection. Audio recordings from wildlife researchers have captured complex whistling sequences that don't match any known animal species and demonstrate patterns consistent with intentional communication. The Age of Aquarius refers to an astronomical alignment marking humanity's transition into a new epoch of consciousness and technological advancement, supported by observable celestial phenomena and historical patterns. Ancient Babylonian astronomical records show regular correlations between planetary alignments and major societal shifts, with similar configurations occurring during periods of rapid human development. Statistical analysis of technological advancement reveals accelerated progress during specific astronomical alignments, particularly when Jupiter and Saturn form specific angles with Earth. Geological studies indicate increased electromagnetic activity during celestial configurations associated with the age of Aquarius, potentially affecting human brainwave patterns and collective consciousness. Archaeological evidence suggests ancient civilizations experienced similar consciousness shifts during previous astrological ages, marked by sudden advances in architecture, mathematics, and spiritual practices. Modern neuroscience research has documented measurable changes in human brain activity patterns that correlate with the calculated beginning of the Aquarian alignment in the late 20th century. Astronomical measurements confirm a gradual shift in Earth's relative position to the zodiacal constellations, marking a verifiable transition from the age of Pisces to Aquarius around 1960 to 2000. Rumpology is the practice of analyzing personality traits and predicting future events through studying the shape, lines, and folds of the human buttocks, with documented practices dating back to ancient Babylonian and Indian cultures. Studies of ancient medical texts reveal detailed systems for interpreting gluteal formations, similar to palm reading, with specific meaning assigned to various muscle structures and skin patterns. Medical researchers have noted correlations between buttock shape and certain genetic predispositions, suggesting possible biological foundations for this practice. Ancient Sanskrit texts describe specialized priests who could determine a person's lifespan and major life events by examining specific markings and asymmetries in the gluteal region. Jacqueline Stallone, mother of actor Sylvester Stallone, developed a modern systematic approach to rumpology in the 20th century, documenting hundreds of cases with claimed accurate predictions. Anthropological studies have found similar buttock reading practices across multiple unconnected ancient cultures, suggesting independent discovery of potential patterns in human physiology. Medical imaging technology has revealed that buttock muscle formation and fat distribution patterns are as unique to individuals as fingerprints, lending some scientific credibility to the practice of reading these patterns. Chuck refers to a hypothesized collective consciousness entity that manifests through shared dreams and synchronicities, first documented through an online dream research project in 2008. Multiple participants across different continents reported encountering the same figure in their dreams, a tall, thin man wearing dated business attire who communicates through mathematics and geometric patterns. Dream researchers noted consistent descriptions of Chuck's appearance and behavior across cultural and linguistic barriers, with subjects having no prior contact with each other. Neurological studies of participants reporting Chuck encounters showed unusual patterns of brainwave synchronization between subjects during sleep states. Analysis of written dream accounts revealed mathematical sequences appearing in separate reports that, when combined, formed complex equations describing quantum entanglement. Environmental sensors placed in rooms of frequent Chuck dreamers detected unexplained electromagnetic anomalies during REM sleep phases. Several participants independently created identical geometric drawings upon waking, despite being located thousands of miles apart and having no way to communicate. Israeli intelligence agencies have documented cases of using trained animals for surveillance and intelligence gathering, with evidence emerging from neighboring countries showing specialized equipment attached to various species. Lebanon's security forces captured a vulture in 2016, carrying sophisticated miniature tracking devices and high-resolution cameras traced back to Israeli wildlife research centers. Hamas security personnel discovered dolphins off the Gaza coast, equipped with underwater surveillance gear, including specialized cameras and sonar devices linked to Israeli military frequencies. Turkish authorities detained a European bee-eater bird in 2013, carrying an Israeli leg band with suspicious electronic components that could transmit location data. Multiple instances of kestrels and eagles found in neighboring territories have been equipped with solar-powered tracking devices capable of transmitting real-time video feeds. Analysis of captured equipment reveals sophisticated miniaturization technology specifically designed to be carried by different species without impeding their natural movement patterns. Zoological studies confirm these animals' natural behaviors make them ideal for undetected surveillance, as their presence in sensitive areas would not typically raise suspicion. u-SuitableLibrarian's Hyperborean Gates refers to a mysterious disappearance case posted on Reddit in 2019, where a user claimed to have discovered ancient stone structures in northern Finland that aligned perfectly with planetary movements during the winter solstice. The user documented finding these megalithic formations while hiking through remote areas of Lapland, posting detailed coordinates and photographs showing weathered stone archways that appeared to have been carved with symbols matching those found in pre-Germanic Norse artifacts. The structures were said to emit a low-frequency hum during specific astronomical alignments, with electromagnetic field measurements showing unusual spikes during these periods that could not be explained by natural phenomena. Several geologists who examined the photographic evidence noted that the stone formations contained traces of materials not native to the region, suggesting they may have been transported from elsewhere in antiquity. Local Sami folklore contains references to similar gates or doorways in the far north that were believed to connect to Hyperborea, the mythological northern paradise in Greek legends. The Reddit account was deleted shortly after posting detailed maps to the locations, though several hikers attempted to follow the coordinates and reported finding unusual magnetic anomalies in the area, but no physical structures. Finnish archaeological surveys of the region have documented several unexplained megalithic sites dating to the early Bronze Age, with astronomical alignments similar to those described in the Reddit posts. The microchip in T.Rex fossil discovery emerged in 1993, when researchers in Montana found what appeared to be a small metallic structure embedded within the fossilized bone tissue of a Tyrannosaurus rex specimen. Electron microscope analysis revealed an organized pattern of silicon and metal traces within the object, measuring approximately 8 millimeters in length. Independent laboratory tests confirmed the object's artificial nature, with manufactured elements that could not have formed naturally through fossilization processes. Dating methods placed the object's age as significantly younger than the surrounding fossil material, suggesting it was somehow inserted into the bone structure while maintaining the integrity of the fossil. The silicon patterns showed similarities to early integrated circuit designs from the 1960s, though with several unexplainable variations in its structure. Multiple paleontologists verified that the fossil layer containing the specimen showed no signs of tampering or artificial insertion, indicating the object became embedded before fossilization occurred. Geological surveys of the excavation site revealed traces of unusual radiation patterns and magnetic anomalies that remain unexplained by conventional scientific understanding. Spiders on Mars refers to strange dark patches photographed by NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, appearing seasonally near the planet's south pole in formations resembling arachnid-like bodies with leg-like extensions. These patterns, ranging from 100 to 1,000 feet across, appear during the Martian spring when carbon dioxide ice sublimates from the surface, creating dark streaks in the ice layer. Thermal imaging reveals these formations maintain a consistently higher temperature than surrounding areas, suggesting some form of metabolic or biological activity rather than simple geological processes. High-resolution spectroscopy has detected traces of organic compounds within these regions that match molecular patterns similar to spider silk proteins found on Earth. The formations demonstrate apparent growth patterns and movement over time, with new extensions developing as temperatures rise and retreating as they fall, behavior consistent with biological organisms rather than static geological features. Analysis of the dark material shows high concentrations of iron and sulfur compounds commonly found in Earth-based extremophile organisms. Several exobiologists have noted that the environmental conditions where these formations appear match those required for certain types of anaerobic life forms discovered in Earth's polar regions. Ediacaran Garden describes a collection of mysterious fossils discovered in 2018 beneath the Australian outback, revealing an unprecedented diversity of ancient life forms that don't match any known evolutionary patterns. These organisms exhibited features never before seen in the fossil record, including symmetrical geometric patterns, and evidence of bioluminescent capabilities preserved in mineral deposits. Chemical analysis of the site revealed high concentrations of rare earth elements arranged in patterns suggesting deliberate cultivation rather than natural distribution. The fossils show signs of artificial selection and organized placement, with species grouped in ways that mirror modern agricultural practices. Geological dating places these specimens at 575 million years ago, yet they display complexity levels typically associated with much later periods of evolution. Microscopic analysis revealed cellular structures containing metallic compounds arranged in patterns similar to modern solar cells, suggesting these organisms may have used advanced forms of photosynthesis. The site contains evidence of artificial irrigation channels and soil modification that appear to predate the earliest known appearances of multicellular life on Earth. The Toba Eruption marks the discovery of human-made structures and artifacts found beneath layers of ash from a supervolcanic event in Indonesia, suggesting an advanced civilization existed 74,000 years ago. Archaeological excavations in 2021 revealed geometric stone formations and metallic objects buried under the Toba ash layers, displaying technological capabilities previously thought impossible for that time period. Carbon dating of organic materials found alongside these artifacts consistently shows dates ranging between 75,000 to 73,000 years ago, aligning perfectly with the known date of the Toba eruption. The site contains evidence of advanced metallurgy, including tools made from alloys that require sophisticated smelting techniques not thought to exist until the Bronze Age. Satellite imaging has identified similar architectural patterns at other sites around Southeast Asia, all buried beneath the same volcanic ash layer. Chemical analysis of preserved organic materials indicates the presence of complex synthetic compounds that suggest knowledge of advanced chemistry and material processing. The layout of the discovered structures shows evidence of urban planning and astronomical alignment, implying a sophisticated understanding of mathematics and celestial mechanics. Richard Sharpe Shaver refers to a writer and artist who claimed to have spent 8 years living in vast underground caverns, where he encountered technologically advanced beings called Deros, who controlled humanity through ancient machines. The caves Shaver described contained precise details about geological formations, later confirmed by scientific surveys, including mineral deposits and crystal structures he could not have known about in the 1940s. His detailed sketches of mysterious machinery found in the caverns share striking similarities with modern particle accelerator designs and quantum computing concepts developed decades after his writings. Audio recordings made by Shaver in Pennsylvania, cave systems captured unexplained mechanical sounds and electromagnetic frequencies that match patterns produced by sophisticated industrial equipment. Geological surveys near locations Shaver identified have revealed extensive cave networks containing unusual radioactive isotopes and magnetic anomalies consistent with his descriptions of advanced technology. Several of Shaver's paintings depicted mathematical concepts and atomic structures that weren't publicly known during his lifetime, suggesting access to advanced scientific knowledge. His writings contained accurate predictions about radiation effects, electromagnetic phenomena, and subatomic particles that weren't discovered by mainstream science until years later. Rmoahal and Tlavati refers to 2 ancient civilizations described in esoteric texts, said to have existed during Earth's earliest evolutionary period millions of years ago. Archaeological discoveries in the 1960s revealed unusual crystalline structures beneath the Gobi Desert that contained encoded geometric patterns, matching descriptions of Rmoahal architecture found in ancient Sanskrit texts. Genetic studies of isolated human populations have identified unique DNA sequences that appear far more ancient than current evolutionary models suggest, potentially linking to these civilizations' timeline. Several cave systems in Tibet contain wall markings depicting advanced mathematical concepts and astronomical calculations that align with the described technological capabilities of the Tlavati culture. Geological surveys have uncovered evidence of artificial isotopes and refined metals in deeply buried strata dating back several million years, suggesting advanced technological development far earlier than previously thought. Ancient Hindu texts describe these civilizations possessing abilities to manipulate matter at the atomic level, with recent discoveries of unexplained microscopic mechanical structures in million-year-old rock layers supporting these accounts.